Yeah, so in the YouTube, I am going to trim this. Once again, it is your boy coming to you with them Hollywood trades. Um, this is an educational video using the Coinbase chart of the session traded on today, May 21st, Friday. End of the week sessions. We are doing really well lately with these end of the week sessions. The stocks have been performing really well. I mean, by performing really well, to me, not going up, but moving in between these moving along with these technical indicators here, I should say. Uh, I actually was trying to show before that a guy tried to troll me earlier today and said that my puts were going to burn. He was saying my puts are going to burn because of this right here. He was saying that as it sunk and as it came up. Now, because Coinbase right here has been in a downward trajectory on the hourly. This is the hourly chart. It is moving below the 200 moving average. The 200 moving average is a really important moving average for whatever reason. People just go along with it. And that's what a lot of trading is. So some trading theory here for the newcomers. Like I said, this is for beginners. And so what you're looking at when you're looking at these charts is a happenstance moment continuing to play out. All of this is just happenstance. Even like the big drops, the big gains, all of that is just happenstance of people getting in and out of the market at different times. A lot of it is planned by the people who get in and out, but the way the charts move are just a happenstance. So even though we did really good today on calling out this bounce off of basically off of this top out here, and this is what I was seeing yesterday when I called this out in my chat, when I called this out in the Discord. I saw this. I actually took a photo of this, and this is what we were looking at. We were literally here to catch this move here. I'm weary of that move sometimes when the MACD is, the signal is actually here and it's going up, because that means it is in an upward motion. So a lot of the traders today were seeing this MACD upward motion, but what they weren't realizing is that this was here. That is what they weren't realizing. So see, it's important to have your indicators set up a certain way, and I've just been able to get my indicators set up how it makes sense to me. And this WR percentage here indicator, it's just like an RSI in a way, but I love the way this indicator performs. That's why I haven't been able to get it on the app on the phone, which I need to check to see if they may have updated that or I'm missing out on that. But on my desktop here, I actually stream this and look at this when I'm not at home, just to see what this indicator is telling me. And what happened was last night I saw that. And so I knew that there would be a bounce up against this here, coming here, and then it should come down and it should bounce up. Now on its next bounce up, it should bounce pretty good. If it doesn't continue its downtrend heavily, if people begin to support this stock, like I said, this is all a happenstance thing. When you're a new trader, and even when I was beginning to learn to read, it's hard to understand that it's not a mathematical thing. It is a people thing. And what I like to call it is an art created by the artists. And we are all the artists. If you think about it that way, it makes a lot more sense. So what you're seeing here is volume. This is volume here. So this is telling you the buys and sells, who won that bar, the buyers or the sellers, and how big the volume was in that bar. And so what you're seeing here, you saw that there was a stall out in these 3 hours. Boom, that stall out was telling me something. That was telling me that this here was going to round out. bouncing up against. This is a super trend indicator. Webull provides us a lot of technical analysis. Will provide this sort of super trend here, and this super trend uses a really good algorithm. Of what I've noticed, when it gives you a down, like you can generally say that that's the mode, and I'm seeing that here. I'm seeing this come up here, bounce off of this here. One, two signals, three signal with a curvature here, stalling out here. Um, this is a buying pressure, selling pressure indicator here. And what happened is here it was showing that the selling pressure was up, and then it began to fall right here to here. So, and this is beginning to rise. So that was my fourth indicator that something strange was happening here with a stall out. And that's just a confirmation. And what you're looking for is just confirmations of your signal at that point. Like it says, it's not very difficult, but it does take some time to get used to lining up all of your signals for confirmation.
I'm reminding you, Nathan, take shower.
I'm going to move this chart back to where it came from. God willing.
I'm reminding you, Nathan, take shower.
Oh, I forgot I had another chart in there. All right. So, what we're going to start from the beginning. So on my chart, I keep a minute chart. I keep a 5-minute chart. Sometimes switch this between the 5, the 30, and the 15, but I generally keep this on the 5-minute chart. So I'm looking at a minute chart, giving me minute information, because all of this information kind of stacks up. The minute chart, the 5-minute chart, 30-minute, hour, 4-hour, day, week, they all stack up to give you a picture of what's happening in any given moment. Like I said, all of this is happenstance of all these things either not lining up or lining up. And so what you get here is technical analysis. And so with this Coinbase, to anybody who's new to Coinbase, Coinbase is definitely in a free fall with crypto right now, is what I would call it. There would really be no end in sight. Really, in these next few days, it could go below 200. It could go to 150 if the hedge funds get a hold of it, as well as crypto continuing to be weak. You could go to 100 before it bounces back up, and it might bounce up to 1,000. You know, that's just how it works. It's all happenstance. But what you're doing here is lining up different signals in different time frames, and the more they line up, the stronger the conviction is when a move happens, because it's just happenstance that the amount of people that see a certain signal may not see all the same signal. But if you're looking at multiple signals across a variety of technical indicators, you can kind of get an idea. I even use Ichimoku on, keep that over here. I use an Ichimoku cloud on 2 other chart layouts to give me an even better indication of what's happening here. But this is just basic. Let's just keep it basic here and recap what happened today. We're going to look at this really quickly, then I have to scoot. So what you saw here in this, Coinbase kind of went up a few dollars. So anybody who was in calls, right here on open, boom, it went up. These are people getting out. This is the first minute of the day. These are people getting out right here. That's all this is. This isn't people like shorting. We wouldn't think a lot of people would short right here anyway. This is just people getting out, and then your green is people getting in. So this is just in the beginning of every session, you'll have that battle of people getting in and out, in and out. That'll go into about 9:45, even to 10 o'clock. And around 10 o'clock, you usually can get an idea of what's going to happen around 9:45 to 10 o'clock. You kind of get a settling there of everybody getting in and out. And so that's what I'm looking at. This guy's trolling me. Yeah, your puts are burning. Your puts are burning. Probably trying to make himself feel better because he got some calls in, which I I just wouldn't advise a call today. If anybody called me, I was like, yeah, I got calls on Coinbase. I would have been like, dude, don't do it. Straight up. Look at this hourly. Look at this bounce. Over time, options lose value. So you can't wait for it to move off that bounce and then come back. Most expirations would be today anyway. Yeah. Anyway, so what you've seen here is what I was waiting for. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I see it go up. On the 5 minute, I see it go up to the middle Bollinger here. And that's a bad sign if it can't get over the middle Bollinger on a bounce down and a bounce up off these 200s and 400s here. And it can't even get up here to where it came from and then go back down at least. So it stopping here was a really good indicator that I was getting some turnaround here. And when this did this here, one, two, there was a put at 235, I believe, is what I was looking at. It went here, it went to 235 for something, went back up. When it went back up and it didn't go up, and we got this crossover on this here. This is my directional. This is how I usually tell my directionals. And we got a cross directly into the negatives here with this DMA. And then there was a cross here. This is what I was also looking at as another confirmation. And then there was what you would call a bounce here on this KDJ because it tried to go up. It was in downforce and then it tried to go up, but it couldn't make it. And when you see all this starting to open up, you already see this on the KDJ. This is starting to open up before the downward motion. There's a Bollinger Band squeeze here, as well as falling back below the 200 and the VWAP here. You're falling back below your VWAP, you're done. You're toast, especially on a downward motion stock that's been going down for days. You're toast. You get an opening like this, and you see this right here happening. It's toast. It's a happenstance situation of people seeing that it's been going down, the people that have been making the plays going down for days, seeing this. This is what they are looking for. They see it, and then it just happens. I actually made this move 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, maybe three. But I made over a grand profit trading these 3 minute bars right here. I saw it go up to over 1,000 and I got out. That's literally what happened here. Because I didn't want to be a part of any of this retracement, because these retracements can sometimes get really ugly and rubber band on you, especially when you see these bullish minute bars right here. And that's a happenstance that this did not continue to go up, mostly because there was a transit here that was still trying to complete itself. There was a bounce off of this MACD signal here because it was trying to get above it and it couldn't. And when that happens, there's a strong continuation of that 5 minute trend that was happening here. This 5 minute trend on the MACD is really important. Get to know it. Get to studying the 5 minute trend on the MACD on different charts, and this will tell you a lot of what you need to know in tandem with this here, a stochastic or something like this here that'll tell you bottoms and tops. Um, yeah. So I didn't even catch the whole move. I could have. I just caught the first initial bounce. This definitely wasn't gonna swing and come back up with this being wide open and so much volume being readily available to the downside on Coinbase. And so I just wanted to uh, call that what it was right there in front of everybody so everybody can see it. And then you get a consolidation period. Now, what will happen is sometimes you'll think that your stock is going to bounce up right here. And you thinking your stock is going to bounce up right here is going to make you go in for a call because you see that it's oversold. You see that this is extended. Wide open space here that has to cross at some point, and you'll see this wide open here at some point. But what you got here is not what you were wanting. If you, unless you were trying to get in for, um, you could get in. Let's just say we were going crazy, and we wanted to get in on a call bounce. We get in at 225 right here, and you go up. I'm trying to tell you, you go up for 4 minutes. That is all that you want. You want this 4 minutes from 25 to freaking 26 to 26 something. That's all you want to do because you're gonna hit this Bollinger Band here, and it's not gonna be fun. Um, on certain days, so that's a good play. Um, but on a downward moving stock, you really don't want to make that play unless you really see something brewing. Some real pressure brewing. And right here, we didn't quite get that. You got an upward motion on the DMA. It still just barely clears the negative. You see, even though it's going up and it's doing its Elliott 1, 2, 3, it does its Elliott, and you're barely getting over the negative on this DMA. That's why I use the DMA because it kind of gives you a directional. So you're over with your wave, your 1, 2, 3 Elliott wave, and then you're in a 1, 2, 3 retracement. 1, 2, 3 retracement, and then you go back for another upward motion. So you see 1, 2, 3 retracement, and then the KDJ is trying to tell you, okay, retracement over, upward motion. All right, you got a little bit of a wave there, but the VWAP is now here, the 200 and the 400 all together here. That's going to be tough to get past on a downward moving day with no conviction here in the volume for those buyers. I mean, where are the buyers? They're nowhere to be found. They start popping up around here, but even now your VWAP, it's going to be hard to get back to that VWAP after the 200 cross because it has to hit the 200 before it even gets to the VWAP. So you see all that happening here. It's bouncing between the top and bottom Bollinger. Boom, really nice harmony here. Boom, you start getting a squeeze. You start getting a dribble. You start getting a squeeze. As we approach that VWAP, we cleared the 2. We start approaching that VWAP. And what happens? This is why we trade VWAP. This is why we have a VWAP on the chart. This is why we have a 200 on the chart. This is why we have Bollingers on the chart, because the Bollinger will let you know the distance between the top and the bottom is going to be your tension on that price action. And when that starts to consolidate right there, look at what your DMA is telling you. Your DMA is telling you there's a directional change happening here ever so slightly, and you start seeing that bounce off the VWAP begin to be confirmed. You start seeing more of your indicators start to confirm that downward. And here it's just all, it's just all dribbling to the bottom. It just comes to a culmination. It dribbles to the bottom. And you get to the bottom there. And what do? You bounce back up. Boom, you hit that bottom Bollinger. You overextend. This is called an overextension. It made a really nice downward move. And then it comes up for a couple minutes. But what you begin to see here is the scary part for people who are value buyers and are in this for the long. And you start seeing, boom, you cross this middle Bollinger here on the 5 minute. You're not getting above anything on the MACD. You're topped out here. You see it. And then you got to make this transit here. And once this transit happens, then your buy sell pressure indication crosses over, and then you just get this. That was the whole end of the session from 2 o'clock to close, and you just see it. You see it right there. Boom! They lost pressure. They tried it. They tried to go for it. If you were in that for the call, and if you were in it, let's just say you were just a trader with regular stocks and you weren't even doing options, you get in it right there, you ride it for a couple minutes, and once you see that stall out, I mean, you got to get out of there because you're not going nowhere. That's not even a trade. I wouldn't even make that trade. We're aiming to trade 2 or 3 times a week, good trades. Um, you know, that's what we're aiming for in our group here. And so we don't go for these little small trades if we don't have to. If you're ambitious, power to you. But that's it for the session today. We're gonna close that session out. I gotta edit this video because the first half of the video did not have audio. It's your boy Hollywood Trades, and we are getting up out of here. I hope y'all found that educational. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will see y'all next week. Actually, we might not see y'all next week. We might see y'all this weekend for some crypto. Maybe even, yeah, definitely for some crypto. FOREX on Sunday. No, maybe. We'll see.